Hi guys, I hope that you're all doing well. Today's lesson is about grouping. Please watch the grade 9 grouping video before you come to this one. First example, we have ax plus ay plus bx plus by. For the first step, let's group the first two terms. We have ax plus ay, the rest two terms are bx plus by. Now let's factor out the highest common factor from each pair. We have a here and a there, so we can take out an a. Open a bracket, this a divided by a, we're left with x plus a divided by a, we're left with y from the first pair. For the second pair, we have bx plus by. We have a b here and a b there, so we can take out a b. Open a bracket, b divided by b, we're left with x plus b divided by b, we're left with y. So can you see that we have a x plus y and x plus y. So you write it in the first bracket, and you write what's remaining. We are left with a plus b, which is what you did in the common bracket videos, both in grade 9 and grade 10. Let's move to the second example. Let's try x cubed plus 3x squared minus 4x minus 12. Let's write them in pairs. We have x cubed plus 3x squared. Now let's take out the highest common factor from both terms, from both pairs, excuse me. We have x here and x there. We take the term that has the lowest power. Between x cubed and x squared, which one has the lowest power? It's obviously x cubed. So you write it outside. Excuse me, it's x squared. X squared, open a bracket, you have x to the power 3 divided by x squared. You have two terms that are divided, so we subtract the exponents. This will be 3 minus 1, we're left with x. The same bases that are divided. X plus 3, as it is, as this is basically 3 divided by 1, as the coefficient of x squared is 1. So it's 3 divided by 1, which is 3. Then x squared divided by x squared. For the last two terms, we have negative 4x minus 12. What can we do here? We can try to take out a negative 4. Open a bracket. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 should give you a positive 1. However, you have a variable which is x, so it's 1x. You don't need to write down the coefficient. The negative 12 divided by negative 4, which is a positive 3. Guys, if you took out a 4, let me remove this. Let's say you took out a 4 by mistake. You'll say negative 4 divided by positive 4, which is negative 1. We're left with x, so it'll be a negative x. The negative 12 divided by positive 12, your answer would be a negative 3. So can you see that it'll be x plus 3 minus x minus 3. You don't have a common bracket, so that means you made a mistake somewhere. Please make sure that you pay attention to the signs. That's why I took out a negative 4, so that we can have an x plus 3. We have x plus 3, we have a common bracket, so you write it in the first bracket. What's left? X squared minus 4. Let's try number 3, 2x squared minus 3y plus 6x minus xy. Guys, grouping only happens when you have when you can take out a highest common factor from both pairs. If you cannot, then you cannot factorize using grouping. Let's try this example. It's 2x squared minus 3y plus 6x minus xy. Let's try the first two terms, then the last two terms. We start with the coefficients 2 and 3. We can't really do much there. Then x and y. We don't have the same base. So we cannot factorize the first two terms. For the last two terms, we have 6 and 1. We can't do anything. We have an x and an x. We couldn't factorize the first two terms, so even if we tried with the last two terms, our factorization wouldn't make sense. So this is the part where you try to rearrange the terms in case you cannot factorize using grouping. You can try to take this 6x there and that negative 3y there. Let's rewrite it. It'll be 2x squared plus 6x minus 3y minus xy. For the first two terms, you have 2x squared plus 6x. The last two terms, you have a negative 3y minus xy. For the first two terms, what can you take out? You can take out a 2. 2 and 6. What's the highest common factor? It's 2. We have x squared and x. So you can only take out an x. What are you left with? 2 divided by 2, it's 1. X squared divided by x, we're just left with x. Plus 6 divided by 2, it's a positive 3. X divided by x. For the last two terms, we have a negative 3 y minus xy. We have a y here and a y there. However, you have to take out a negative y. Don't just take out a y so that your terms can be positive. Open a bracket. We have negative 3 divided by negative 1. Remember, the coefficient of negative y is negative 1. Negative 3 divided by negative 1 should give you a positive 3. We have a minus xy, which is basically minus 1 xy. So this is a negative 1 divided by negative 1, which is a positive 1. xy, we can write down this x, it'll be a positive 1x. You don't need to write down that 1. Y divided by negative y. Actually, it's y divided by y, which is 1. So we have x plus 3, 3 plus x. Is this a common bracket? Yes, because with addition, it could be 3 plus x or x plus 3. The order doesn't matter. If you have a 1 plus 2, it can be a 2 plus 1. So you do have a common bracket. You can rewrite this as x plus 3, as you're used to seeing the variable first, then x plus 3. You don't really need to show this step, but I think it's better because you see things a bit more clearer. Now we do have a common bracket that's very clear to us. We'll write down x plus 3 in the first bracket, then 2x minus y in the second bracket. I hope that you guys understand. You can always rewind this video and rewatch this part. Let's move to the fourth example. Let's try ab minus 2a minus 3b plus 6. Let's pair the first two terms and the last two terms. ab minus 2a, we have a and a, so we can take out an a, open a bracket, this one gets cancelled, we're left with b minus 2a divided by a. For the second pair, you have negative 3b plus 6. What can you take out? What's the highest common factor of 3 and 6? You can take out a 3. However, most of the time you'll need to make it a negative. So let's try negative 3 instead of just 3. We'll have negative 3 divided by negative 3, which is a positive 1. We have a b there, so it'll be 1b. We just write down the b, then 6 divided by negative 3, which is a negative 2. Do you have a common bracket? b minus 2, b minus 2, yes. We write what's left, a minus 3. So can you see that if this wasn't a negative 3, the signs would have changed. Our answer is b minus 2, a minus 3. Let's move to the last example. Number 5, let's try x squared plus 2xy plus y squared minus 9. Guys, I chose this example to show you how tricky grouping can be. It's not as straightforward as I've done in the previous examples. There are always tricks here and there in terms of the signs, but in this case, it's a whole different thing. What can we do? Let's try to factor the first two terms. For the first two terms, we have x squared and x. We can take out an x. We're left with x squared divided by x, which is just x, plus 2. X divided by x, we're left with the y. For the last two terms, we have y squared minus 9. We can't really take out a common factor from y squared minus 9, so this method doesn't work. It was x squared plus 2xy plus y squared minus 9. To solve this, you have to realize that the first three terms form a perfect square trinomial. And if you know how to factor it, your answer should be x plus y squared. You factored the first three terms. Okay, you're left with the minus 9. So can you guys see that we now have a difference of two squares? Term 1 and term 2. And to factor this, we should get a x plus y minus 3, x plus y plus 3. You should be familiar with some of the steps, how to take it from here to there, as I believe I've done a similar example in the difference of two squares videos. However, if you don't know how to factorize this, that would make more sense if you've been following my lessons, as I haven't done factorizing a perfect square trinomial before. So in the next question, I'll teach you guys how to factor the perfect square trinomial, then we'll get back to this example. So that is how wild factorization can get. After learning how to factorize the perfect square trinomial, we'll be left with the difference of two squares as well as the sum of two cubes. Excuse me, the difference of two cubes and the sum of two cubes. That'll be all for today's lesson. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.